Okay, yes, I'm ready. I'm ready. Thank you.
You might get a question that you have to confirm the fact that I'm taping you. I'm not sure if it's there.
No problem, no problem.
No problem. But is it on your computer? Does it ask you a question or not?
I said okay.
Okay, good.
You can tape. You can yeah. You can
Okay,
tape.
so Elie,
Yeah.
thank you for yeah saying yes to this talk. I have a wonderful few questions, and yeah, let's jump right into it. Yeah. So because some of my colleagues are listening, I just want to just give a short introduction. I wanted to talk about the basically why we create. My reason was because we have a crisis in osteopathy, a crisis of creation, and then I got to know you and through Ami, Israeli Osteopath. And then I found out about your work. And then actually I also saw your TED Talk on the topic of why we create. And I thought this is the perfect combination. And this is now why we are sitting here. And I also had the chance to be in your studio. And I want to talk to you about two things, basically, about the question of why do we create, and then also about this project you're now focusing on. What I heard from you is basically the story of Abraham, Isaac, and the sacrifice of children. Is that okay for you?
Yeah, very good.
Okay, so let's start with this question of why we create, because in that TED Talk you start with this.
What makes people create? What makes people create?
Yeah, and what makes people create, and then you bring up the question of the feelings. That it's very important to start with the feelings. Yeah. So
Okay. In order to create, you have to believe in few things about yourself. I think you don't have to believe in it, but if you want to create, it's better that you believe in it. So I have few I would say pedestals on which I think I mean I teach for many years, let's say for 30 years at least. I'm a teacher. I've found to few pedestal on which you can make a student become a creator, make him create with. So the first one is if you want to create, it's better to believe that what you feel is important. What you feel is important, because if it's not important,
then you don't create.
You don't have any reason to wake up in the morning, to stay out of bed. Okay. It's very hard if somebody comes to the class and tells me that what she feels. Usually, it's women in the academy in Orani where I used to teach. If a student comes to me and says to me that what she feels, it's very rare, but it happens. It really happens. And I have two students, by the way, in my class. Two sisters. Both are Palestinians, Muslims. One thought that what she thinks is important, what she feels important, and then she got a really great, successful artist. And the other, her sister, didn't believe in it. I couldn't persuade them that what she feels is important, because and her work, and then she's not an artist, let's say, and her final work was a mobile of bones. That's it. And she got first prize. And from then on, she didn't do anything yet.
Right.
And that's because she didn't think, and she was very talented artist, not less talented than her sister. And I called her a few times. I really was running after her to help her, and she didn't. That's it.
So Elie,
the thing is,
a lot of your art is also about the place where you grew up, the Mushav, the Kfar Yehoshua. So it's a lot about the people and the farm. So could you say something about the feelings you trust? What are also the feelings that basically the feelings you trust in yourself and that make you create?
Yeah. Of course. Let me first. I'll tell you that I had few. The one thing that I failed in my life that was so important is that my father really was very tough on me, and he thought that I'm a very bad farmer. Okay, I have no chance to be a good farmer. Okay, so then the failure that made me feel from I think 6 years old, the artist is my way, my goal, to be an artist, to be a painter. So I love to do. I wanted to do. Okay, so that it was very easy for me to make a decision to be an artist and not to become a farmer because very lovely farmer, according to my belief. So that's first, and my feeling my feelings are that art is a very powerful thing, and that I can make a difference in the world, especially as an artist, as a teacher. I can make it, and I did. I made a difference. Actually, I made a difference. Many students are very, very successful, very all over the world, more than me. Some of them. I have an artist whose name is Fatma Shanan. Fatma, she's very successful in Berlin. She has a gallery in Berlin. Very successful, very. Fatma Shanan. You can look for it. Your friends can look for it in Google. She's very successful.
We will. But you know what I mean is like when I treat, I need to believe that these hands are able to improve health in someone else. Like
yeah.
So sure. What do you believe in? What are the feelings you believe in when you paint, when you get up in the morning? And
first of all, I create paintings. I work with oil. I'm very close. You see, I am in a tradition of painting, of figurative painting.
Yeah.
And I'm part of this I would say chain. I would say I'm this part of chain that I'm part of it.
Yeah.
I love to see art. Sometimes I love even to see my art. It's a chain that I believe in. This chain, I see it's beautiful. It makes me feel good. And actually, this beauty that art creates, that art makes, is very important, I guess, for many people. And you see, millions of people are going around the world just to see art. Millions.
Yeah.
Some of them maybe they don't see anything and just do because it's a fashion, but fashion for so many years to see art that you think, okay, that's okay. That's very important for many people. And then the other end is that art is very important in a sense. Like I do paint this valley, and this valley is very hard to paint because the light is very bad here, very bad, very ugly actually, very white, very hard to see, very hard to look at this landscape because sometimes it's very hot and very white and very you can see it without eyeglasses.
Yeah,
without dark eyeglasses. And I'm like a mediator for these people to see this white is beautiful. This white it has beauty in it. People see, wow, and people learn to know that it's beautiful. By the way, I had an hour about this, by the way. Never mind. I mean, name that she lives around Earth, and she never thought that this very from doing is beautiful. She was looking for other beauty, like the beauty of Germany, let's say, green, northern green, and snow and mountains. She wrote to me after that I convinced her that what she sees from the window is beautiful. It's very important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you focus like on your new project, you know, when it's about the Abraham story and the Abraham Isaac story, yeah. Well, how do you approach it? No, I mean, what's your? It's such a loaded history. You know, there's so much based on this history that we gave up sacrifice. We have a law that doesn't allow to have children kill children. So this history is really at the base of our civilization. So so you must be brave just to say like no, we have no. And you know, I sent you a photo from a German church from the 13th century. We have Caravaggio's painting of that scene when Abraham is like lifting up his knife. So this is a very interesting, loaded story and really important for our civilization. No? So when you decide to approach it, I mean, you have you have this history on your back, but you also have your own feelings and your whole story. I mean, how does that come together?
Yeah, first, if you look at the story from again, like what it's written in the Bible itself, it has some details that many people don't pay attention to. Very important. So first of all, I look at what we call pshat, story itself, as it is.
Yeah.
Story itself tells us that God told Abraham to sacrifice the only son that he loves. Okay. And then he went, and then he did what he did. By the way, in Hebrew, sacrifice is akedah. Akedah is not about the sacrifice; it's about the tying.
The tying, the binding.
The binding.
Yeah.
And binding in Italian is fascio, fascere.
Yeah.
Fascere is to bind together.
Yeah.
That's a sort of fascism, by the way. Fascere. How you bind to yourself, our nation become like one, which is a positive thing, basically. To make it too strong, and what happens if somebody is not there.
Yeah.
Anyway. So in this story, after Abraham, the angel told Abraham not to kill the son. So this would be the last time God talks to Abraham himself. From then on, he never talked to Abraham himself, just through an angel. One thing. Secondly, this angel tells Abraham, since you was ready to sacrifice your son, your only son, to me, and you'll be given this and that. He didn't never say that you loved. First one said, your son that you loved. Now, no love at all. And then God didn't talk to him anymore at all. So it means that first of all, it was not just a test how he believed, but a test of love too. Okay? So he did succeed in the task of believing, but didn't succeed in the task of love. As you know, from Jesus wrote to the Corinthians, this letter Jesus wrote to the Corinthians, the love is the most important thing. The love, faith, and hope, and love is the most important. Okay. So he failed in the test of love. Okay. So first of all, the story is not that clear that he was just did what he did because belief is not the only thing that's important. And for me, it's terrible, of course, that he thought that he can sacrifice the son. Like, you want to prove you believe, sacrifice that if you want. I would tell Abraham, you want to prove that you believe it, sacrifice yourself, commit suicide for good. Okay, I'll give you your life, my life, not my son's life. Okay? And then again, it's not, and then it's very important to think that to understand that in this story, the Jephthah's daughter story, many stories of Agamemnon and Iphigenia.
Yeah.
It's very bad he did it, but it's his right to do it, It is his right to do it. No one asks if it's his right. It's right to do it. And they liked it, but it is his right by the story. It is his right to do it. I don't think it is right to do it. Not Agamemnon, not Iftach, not Abraham. It's not his right to do it. To take somebody else's life because of whatever. And but the story is like not the story. Let's say there's another story. What about standing to the desert of Hagar and Ismael? The separation between Jews and the separation between Isaac and Ismael. Ismael is this story that is the base of the war now between Arabs and Jews. Okay, what happened if this biblical story would not happen or would happen differently? Many things in the Bible are not written, and then there is a midrash. Later on, these clever Jews, they found another things, and they say in the Bible it says, after the death of Sarah, so Abraham married somebody else by the name of Keturah. Some people said Keturah was Agar. So but it is said in the Jewish tradition that Hagar was asked to return, and I made this story. Abraham asked Hagar to return. And I made a story, and I made another painting of then Hagar and Ishmael and Abraham are my daughter, her husband and the son. Okay. I made it very personal in that sense.
Yeah.
And then the story, and then another painting that shows Abraham, his family, everybody together. His two wives, Sarah and Hagar, and then two sons. They play together. Nothing happened. So it's better. I think it's better and comparing to the nightmare they had, it's better this way. Okay. And then what would it do to us if we change the myth on which people base their hatred or their conflict? What you say if we change the myth? Very important. Very interesting. I don't know what happens. Very interesting. Very interesting to think what happens if we change the myth.
But so can we look a little bit into the, let's say, I would call it the emotions of the different relationships, no? So if you're a father.
Do you want to see this painting? These paintings, by the way, I can show you this painting. But the one painting is here in the book.
Please.
One painting is here in the book. Here. Can you see it somehow? This is the painting, family of Abraham, without the sacrifice and everything.
Okay.
Can you see anything? Can you see it?
I can see it, yeah. Is it in this one? No, it's a different one.
No, it's a different.
Different one, okay. Yeah.
You don't have this one?
Yeah. No, I'll get it. Yeah. So that's the situation without the sacrifice. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, and then without the expelling of Agar to the desert, without everything. But in this story, by the way, God made them live, brought them this fountain from the rock, and then they promised Ismail to become a great nation. So I think God didn't want them to die there in the desert. Okay.
No, definitely. I'm just wondering, you know, they're very different relationships. If it's our relationship to God, or if it's our relationship to our kids. No, I mean, because you have been a son, and I've been a son. I'm also a father of a son. But to have what you said about love, no, love is something that is something that connects us as human beings. It doesn't connect us to God. No, isn't there a real no? If you're trying to put yourself in the shoes of these different feelings, of these different acts, don't you think there's a difference in the relationship, like
between both? What?
No, the relationship to God is not like love. No, the relationship to God in Hebrew it's emunah, so it's trust, and the relationship to ourselves and to the children, there's love. So there are different qualities in there.
I'm not sure that there's no love between people who believe in God and then God. I'm not sure about it. But anyway, yes, I mean, this is belief.
No, but that's the whole thing with Paulus, no, because you brought up Paulus, and I'm pretty, I mean, I know the Christian tradition better than the Jewish one, but I'm just wondering if you get yourself into the shoes of those people, into their feelings, no? The problem with Paulus for a lot of us Christians is actually that he talks about love as if we have the same quality of love between God and us, yeah, and us and the other people, and that's a very different kind of love. Yeah, it's a very different.
Maybe I don't know, but in the story itself, they say that God didn't talk to Abraham anymore after that. Didn't talk to him at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Before that, they were talking a lot. Didn't talk to him at all. Then start from that, and then he mentioned the angel said he mentioned that Abraham didn't love his son. That I think God tells us in the story. The story is telling us that Abraham failed in something. That's for sure.
Yeah.
God didn't want to talk to him anymore.
Yeah.
I understand God. That's it.
So I mean, you know, I'm a therapist, no? So I feel very different, let's say, levels of feelings and contradictions there. So what do I do? No, as a therapist, no, I know people. That's how people are. They have love, they have war, they have attraction.
Let me tell you something else about it. Okay.
So that's why I want to ask you. So what as an artist, how is it if you're dealing with what we call in psychology we call it ambivalence, and it's very important that you stay in the ambivalence.
Yes, sure. Let me tell you that. Then let's say there's two sides to something. Okay.
Yes.
On one hand, you have the meaning of things, the tradition, the meaning. Okay. The meaning, let's say, the meaning of life is very important for us to live, especially when it's very hard life. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's say the first pioneer here in Israel, in Jezebel, they worked very hard. Then they needed something to hold them. The everyday life was very, very hard. Very, very hard. They had to find a reason to wake up in the morning, to work very hard in the sun. Okay.
Yeah.
And their belief was that they are doing something that is let's say it's transcendent. Okay.
Yeah.
In the sense that some of the pioneers of Parasha told me that we actually fulfilled the Bible, she said. Mm-hmm. If we fulfill Kfar Yehoshua is fulfillment of the Bible. Okay. Like there's one poet that's called Shlonsky, Abraham Shlonsky. Okay.
Yeah. I've heard of him. Yeah.
And he tells us that he wrote in his songs that that the earth of Jezreel Valley is like the skin of the Bible, okay?
Yeah.
And when you plow the earth with a plow, like writing the Bible on the skin, okay?
Yeah.
So that's one side. On the other hand, of course, it's this meditation. So then you go off, let's say, away from the pain by looking above the pain to something that's transcendent. The other hand, there is meditation, okay? When you do meditation, then we see the dead. Then we breathe about breathing, and then we don't see the everyday life too, the suffering, okay? Two sides that are, okay? The question is how far you want to go with both sides. If you go very far with the meaning, okay, then you get fascist, you see? When you think that reality has to be obeyed, need to obey, the meaning of things, okay, then you get fascist, okay, then you bind this tie too strong. Okay?
Yeah.
Like we think that, okay, whatever. On the other hand, too, if you went very far away, then you can't be part of reality, okay? In both ways, you can't love your kids, really, if you are in both sides. Okay?
That's the
You
point.
can't love your kids if you're going meditation very far. So meaning very far, it's the same point of being very extreme. Can't love your kid. Can't love anybody, by the way.
Because meditation, you're detaching yourself from your relationships. Yeah.
Okay. So really, is you have to walk between both sides all the time. And I like this very, 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 very interesting negotiation, a gentle negotiation, which has nothing that has to be very, very careful not to go to to stay, I should call it, with the conflict. You have to stay with this conflict to live life. Otherwise, you don't. That's what I think.
No, and if you look at the idea of the fascists, the fascia, so
yeah.
you could look at it like there's something from the outside that holds it together, like in the binding, the idea of what Abraham was talking about, binding, yeah. So then you can ask, yeah, so what is binding us, no? Because there could be something where we hold together, yeah, without someone binding us together from the outside, no? And that's
my answer. Yes, sorry. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's why is that why kind of one way of like the way to be in the middle, like still be a bundle, yeah, strong, because as an individual you can Israel cannot survive if you're not standing together. If you're not,
it's again negotiation, very very gentle negotiation in order to see, because if there's no rule, for instance, however, if it's not, in Hebrew it is said, "Lelo mora bedin ish et re'ehu chaim balau." That being afraid of the trial, everybody will eat each other alive. Okay, so we really need to have some binding from outside too.
Yeah.
Basically, my answer is very, very actually very spiritual, too spiritual. Actually.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
We think I think we share the same soul. We share and now I prove it that we share the same soul. That I found out that if an artist gets deeper to himself, herself, we feel more connected to him or her. Okay? Like if Rembrandt would paint like a general good artist, we wouldn't like him at all. But we love Rembrandt or Van Gogh because they paint themselves. They are very deep into themselves. They are very personal. Every good artist has his own specific language. It's not like anybody else's language. Okay? And whenever an artist is more connected to himself, we feel it stronger. Okay? And if everybody is close to himself, it makes us closer to him. There's something very deep in everybody. We share it together.
Yeah.
That's why I think we have the same soul. We share the same soul.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's why I totally agree. That's also why what I love about art and why there is that's the question in the beginning. There are our feelings, yeah, and one of the things artists are really able, what I would call good artists, is that they're so truthful to their feelings, yeah, that it gets really painful, and there's really a truth for other people in there. No, I'm just thinking about like what you were saying would be true for what we call Renaissance art. No, so there they were really true to themselves, yeah, but also they were always like balancing the powers to be at the time.
Mhm.
So
I
don't
think that it's very easy to it's very personal in one hand. And in the other hand, it's very easy to understand that Rembrandt and Leonardo and others, Michelangelo are very good artists. We all love them. Okay,
Yeah.
and then it's very personal. And then it's very universal too.
Yeah.
Yes, it's more personal. It's more universal.
So my sense or my question would be, I mean, it's like in every time, but nowadays, yeah, it's very difficult to be really true to yourself and true to your feelings, yeah, because the bombardment from what you should feel, yeah, and what feelings are correct, and what it means to be true to yourself, there's a lot of pressure from the outside. Of course, I don't know how it felt like 500 years ago, but just as an interested like a human being, it feels like it's much harder nowadays to actually stay with your feelings because there's a lot of pressure to kind of to go with an interpretation of your feeling that's pre-existing. Is that I'm talking about self-censorship. I mean, is that an issue, like that that you feel like people censoring their own feelings, that they're not allowing themselves to have these feelings?
Look, I'm doing my best. My students are doing the best too. Some of them very successful, doing their best to be themselves. And there's a Jewish story, Hasidic story, about Reb Zusha. It was like Jewish, he was crying. He was going to die, he was crying. I still ask him, do you cry? Why do you cry? Are you afraid to die? No. Do you have pain? No. I do. So do you cry because you're afraid? Then you come to heaven, you ask him why you were not Moshe Rabbeinu, like Moses. Say, no, I'm afraid when I come to heaven, they will ask, why wouldn't you be, I wouldn't be myself. I wouldn't be Reb Zusha.
Yeah.
Okay. This story is very everywhere, what you see. In every tradition, in every culture, that everybody is supposed to be himself or herself. I told my students that nobody can be themselves. Like even Leonardo da Vinci can't do themselves better than them.
Okay.
Only they can do what is themselves.
Yeah,
they can do it better.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Even if they do bad art, the only thing they can do is themselves. Yeah. The best.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that part in your talk when you said, like you're the only one who can actually do this painting, and that's why no one else can do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, you said there's more than one thing you would always you would bring up in terms of what makes people create. So it's the first one you mentioned was like, oh, it's like you have to actually believe in your own feelings. You have to take it serious. Yeah. Is there something else that's there?
The second is that you have to believe, it's better for you to believe that what you see is important. What you see is important.
What you see?
See.
Yeah, feel is important.
Yeah. Sometimes you feel that what you see is not important. Like Plato didn't think that what he sees was important at all.
Yeah.
So the cave, it was about the cave.
Yeah.
Tell us what you see is not important at all. What you think is just important, what you see. Okay? To do visual art, you have to believe that what you see is important.
It's important, yeah.
Third is that painting is important. Painting is relevant, it's important. Okay? Today, for many reasons, painting is still important. The interest is still important. Many people do paint yet, still.
Yeah.
I think they will go on painting too.
What is it about? What
about painting?
Yeah.
What's it about?
What is it about painting that is so important? Because people could use, I mean, we know people could use the computer, but I mean, I've been in your studio. It's a special place, no?
Yeah. Okay, let's say that camera. Okay, let's say about photography. Okay, painting versus photography. Okay, or versus. Roland Barthes was. You know Roland Barthes. Roland Barthes. Roland Barthes is a French philosopher.
Yes, sure.
Very famous book that was.
I'm that generation. We all read Roland Barthes.
Thought about photography. Okay, thinking about photography. Okay.
Yeah.
About Roland Barthes tells that photography is a telaba. Was there.
Mm-hmm.
He tells us that it was. It's like it's some kind of. Let's say you see painting photography. You see these photons that on the negative, and then you see the painting. It's a telaba. It was there.
Mm-hmm.
You're very sure it was there. What is the Laba? I say it was in the past. Laba is not here.
Mm-hmm.
You do a painting, it immediately goes to the back, the past, and it's not here. Even see it's not here anymore. I think. And then what painting is? What is painting doing? Painting is about what you see in the moment you see. Like if I see you make a portrait, okay, I make a stain and I do paint my. Every touch is a meditation of the present in the present. So painting is present continuous. When I see Rembrandt, or when I see a cave painting, I see his present continuous, 20,000 years ago, in my present continuous. I see Rembrandt, okay?
Yeah.
And I see Rembrandt, okay?
Yeah.
So painting is, I think good photography can make a present continuous too.
Yeah.
But painting is based on present continuous. Even if I work for photographs that when I look at the photograph, it's present continuous.
Yeah.
You look at painting, you see present, like in music, present continuous.
So you know,
painting. That's it. Painting has more things to show us.
Yeah.
Painting shows that we share the same world. Painting is the only thing that shows us, proves we share the same world, physical world. How? When you see something, nobody knows what you see. But if you are my student, you see something in my class, and you show me that's what I see in the landscape. I see. I say, okay, I tell you, look very well. See that this tree is relative to other thing is not that size, that size. Okay, say, okay, yes, you are right or not. We actually compare what we see in the same time. We compare what we see. Okay, we see the same thing. And there's nothing else to compare what you see in real time. Just that. You actually see. The painting can show us that we share the same physical world. Painting can show that we share the same physical world. Painting can show by that. Painting can show us we share the same soul. Okay. So this is painting. Can you see that?
So it's important. So it's important to
anything
paint
nice on something else? No, you can't.
So Elie, but that means it's important to paint and also to look at paintings, no?
Yes, sure.
Do you understand why I'm saying that?
I have a telephone from my wife.
Okay.
Just a moment. Okay, that's it. Okay.
You okay? So my question was like, it sounds like it's as important to paint as it is to look at paintings. Both is
yeah. It is proven every day by millions of people going all around the world just for to look at painting. That's proven.
Because the title of this book, no, it's wonderful. The Boundaries of the Gaze, the one you gave me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so since you were bringing it up, what are the boundaries of the gaze? No? Because basically you're saying watching paintings brings us into the moment and also into the community. We're kind of reminded that we are all human souls and we feel that. So what about the boundaries of gaze? How is that connected?
Look, this painting is that you saw them. It shows the show in the cover. It's myself as Moses in the Nebo mountain. Okay, Moses look, and then he can't get inside Canaan. He can't get inside. He cannot cross the Jordan. He has to stay there. Okay.
Yep.
Painting cannot cross the Jordan. That's it. Yeah. The painting just can look, and then long for painting. Just can long for something all the time.
Yeah.
Painting is endless longing. That's it. Painting can't go. By the way, Moses, you know why Moses didn't go didn't allow to go to Canaan? You know why?
No.
Well, when God told him, talk to the rock, and then he gets water, and then he hit the rock with his stick. So he touched. Painting should not hit the rock with like words, like language shouldn't be hitting reality. But it should be always feel that reality is the way. Always it's a longing.
So what should we do? We should not hit reality. We should talk. Say it again. We should talk to reality. No.
Yeah, we shouldn't hit reality. We shouldn't We shouldn't have the ideology, the words, with reality like this. Always should be longing. We should understand that reality, there's a way from our thinking. All those longing, but it's not ours.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what painting. That's bonding of the gaze. You're always longing. You know, it's that what his name, Ulysses cannot ever get to Ithaca, ever. Even if he is in Ithaca, he cannot get there.
Get there.
Like in Quapis. So, Ulysses cannot get ever to Ithaca, ever. He can always long to Ithaca, and that's it.
That's it. So these are boundaries that we never reach, basically. They're not there to be.
No, we are longing, and we can see, but the way is endless. But the long but you can't, you don't long. If you think that you do it, you either opt. If you fulfill the Bible completely, it's all the same. And that's it. That's it.
For me, it's interesting because it's so close to what we do in therapy, because we're trying to connect to the other person, but there's this boundary. We're not really in the other person. When we are in good contact, we're in a relationship, something happens on the other side, but the moment we are able to or want to control 100% what is happening on the other side, it becomes it's not therapy anymore. Then we are kind of it's like what we talked about before. We become the Nazis. We're either letting go, we're walking away from it, or we're dominating too much. So I see a lot of similarities between what you describe to be the artist's way and the therapeutic way, kind of.
Yeah, sure. Like Thomas, Thomas put his fingers in the wound.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it as a painter or as a therapist?
Both.
It's interesting that you bring that up because I use that famous depiction of Caravaggio of this moment. I would call Thomas the first osteopath, because he was basically the first one who said, I only believe if I touch. He said, I don't believe my visuals, my hearing, I have to touch the wound. And in that painting from Caravaggio, you can actually see that it's Jesus' hand, he's guiding Thomas's hand, So everyone is staring there, all the people are looking in that painting from Caravaggio, but it's actually Jesus holding the hand, It's like what you were saying. He has a wound and he's allowing him to touch him, but Jesus is the one who's holding the hand of Thomas. So that's kind of Caravaggio's solution of this problem. How close can you get to the wound of someone? Because as you said, you cannot get into the wound. And if you're allowed into the wound, you need someone to guide you, and it's the person who's the wounded person.
Maybe.
So wonderful. So is there something that comes to your mind, to finish this wonderful conversation? Something you would basically would want to give us, us therapists, as people who are still, who we will ask the same question every day. Like
you have to be modest. That's it. It's the modesty. That's it. When you go to somebody, you have to be modest. That's it.
You have to be modest.
Let's finish with the painting of Rembrandt. It is called how it's called. It's called the lesson of this Dr. Tulp.
Yes, I remember. I know. Yeah.
In this painting, Rembrandt, everybody looks at the book that stands on the behind the legs of this dead man.
Yeah,
everybody looks at the book. Just Rembrandt looks at the dead man itself. Okay.
Yeah.
Like you should always look through the book
to the person. Yeah. That's a wonderful way to put it. we have to look at the flesh and bone, we call it tissue, to get to the person, and we have to look through the book. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Not like through the book.
Not throw the book. We have to look through the book into the real person.
Yeah. If the book is not transparent, you can't see the person. Book should be transparent.
So if the book is not transparent, throw it away. Then you have So the books have to be transparent. That's great.
Okay.
So Elie, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was wonderful. And
Been a pleasure.
yes, so
Who is going to listen to it?
I don't know. I mean, I have this channel. Yeah, basically, it's called Osteopathy Will Great Again, and it's people from it's colleagues. Yeah, but it's also people, other people, no, who are interested in. So I will share it if it's okay for you. I will share it to everyone who's
Yes, so
interested.
I will share it too.
Excellent, good. I'll send it to you. Yeah, I might have to do a few technical things on it, and then I'll put it on my YouTube channel.
No problem.
Excellent.
Thank you very much, and
Thank you.
regards
And
to your wife. Thank you.
I will. And say hi
Bye-bye.
to everyone on the Mushav, yeah?
See you. See you soon.
See
Bye-bye.
you soon. Bye.